Hey everyone, it's Pauline from Chronically Spicy. I hope all is well for you. If you are familiar with my page, my account, I am a chronic illness uh, awareness advocate, latex allergy awareness advocate, and I have a ridiculous amount of stupid allergies plus mast cell activation syndrome, which means that even if I'm not allergic to it, I might react to it. I carry 4 EpiPens with me at all times, which technically sometimes I react to them too, but hey, why would we be doing this the easy way? So TLDR, I have YouTube live streaming right now. And I am multi streaming so that YouTube, if you miss a live stream, you can do the rewatch. It becomes part of my video library after it has, I've ended the live stream, and you can watch whenever. I'm calling these rabbit hole research, MCAS allergies and blood cancer. um, because I have mast cell activation syndrome. I have over so far 900 allergies that I've charted thereabouts that stem from 3 allergies: ethylene chloride allergy, coconut allergy, latex allergy. All right. Ethylene chloride is used in everything from sunscreens to entire family and classes of medication. Makes me allergic to most things in hospitals or medical treatment options. Any corticosteroids, antihistamines, um, anti-nausea medications, medical lubes and waxes. So, like, if you're going to get like an upper endoscopy, things like my airway slamming shut because, you know, they got to lube the esophagus, the scope that goes down, things go bad. And oh, wow, that's not good. I haven't had one since that. No. So anyway, I've already done episode 1, 2, and 3, Rabbit Hole Research, MCAS, allergies, and blood cancer, which, by the way, Mayo Clinic did not tell me I had uh, before I left um, after being a patient there for a few months in 2024 for multiple uh, visits and evaluations and diagnostics for both me and my daughter. And she's got she's got the MKS CDS POTS trifecta. I've got 2 of them plus an autoimmune condition called Behçet's, and that means that my body attacks its own blood vessels. Yeah, babe. I love how you did that. You did that super regally with like the shark cape. Just so you know.
Just very regal in this very regal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Don't be impressed. We didn't wake up early. She didn't go to sleep either. She's got the same sleep issues I do. Rest up. I'll come up before I leave. Okay. All right. So here's what's going on. I have two. Let's see. If you want to watch on YouTube, that's where I'm going to be screen sharing. Okay. Um, and if you are on YouTube, say hi. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. So I'm every doctor's worst nightmare, and I am some researcher's future dream case study. Period. Like, I know that. And I know that I'm a complete and total mess, and I know that imagine finding out that you have a rare chronic blood cancer and you're allergic to chemo options. All of them, chemo. I have no idea. I know that what I have is called it's a macroglobulinemia. Um, Basically, my bone marrow is making too many B cells. I'm still learning. I just found it in my records last week, and I have an appointment with my doctor 2 days from now to go over the fact that we just found out that, yeah, nobody told me about this before I left Florida, Jacksonville, Mayo. Because why would you tell a patient that, hey, you might want to talk to your doctors about this because your levels for this lab said you have a rare blood cancer that affects 3 out of every million people. What? Yeah, just found it last week. Found it last week. All right, so you can hop on YouTube. You can watch over there if you want. It's the same channel name. And that's where I'm going to be screen sharing. So otherwise, there's basically just like, hanging out and listening, right? Also helping me keep people showing up and engaging really kind of keeps me motivated for accountability to not skip doing what I got to do, right? Which is all of this. Because I like to stick my head in the sand when things get scary for a little while. I will avoid going to the doctor when I know what's wrong, that something's wrong, and I know what it is. I'll go to I'm at the doctor in a hot freaking minute if I have no idea what's going on. I just know something's off. Same thing for my kid, right? She's almost 18 and she did not want to go to the ER last week because her asthma was just going insane with coughing. And the next day, so we did, she did the nebulizer and everything. It was really, really late, or she hadn't slept for like 24 hours because of everything and not being able to sleep or not being able to stop coughing. And it's like she needed to fall to sleep. She would have fallen asleep on the way to the ER, and I wouldn't be able to get her out of the car. she takes her medication. She does her nebulizer. She's like, I'm going to sleep. We can go after I wake up. Well, of course, everything's better or good enough and better enough the next day that, the doctor was like, yeah, here's, prednisone. Okay, cool. Bring down the inflammation. And then get an allergist referral. Cool beans. She tells me on the way, we were in the waiting room longer than we were in the back because, kid with lifetime asthma diagnosed at age 18 months, nebulizer started at 2 years old. Like, doctors aren't going to question that, aren't going to argue it. It's there. It's obvious, right? So anyway, we're in the car on the way home, and she's like, yeah, I didn't want to go last night because I knew if we came, they were going to make me stay. So that's why I waited till now. And I'm like, awesome. So I'm like accidentally like, how we try to not screw up our kids the same way we got screwed up. We just end up screwing them up in new and different ways. Medical gaslighting and not wanting to go to the hospital when you know what's wrong. Anyway, so all right, so I have done rabbit hole research episodes 1, 2, and 3. This is my if you're watching on YouTube, this is my, I'm gonna make this bigger. All right, there we go. No, that's a little weird. 1 minute. How do I do? No. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to customize because this is... What? How do you do this? No. I'm trying to... 1 minute. I don't like that one. We'll just do that. Okay, there you go. Because the list is more important than my face, obviously. Okay, so I created a Google Doc. And I am charting all of my allergies, and I'm trying to super proof it for my doctors because allergic to ethylene dichloride and coconut that was diagnosed 18 years ago, 17 years ago, right after my daughter was born. Um, that one alone makes me allergic to pretty much everything. Okay. Um, Corticosteroids, antihistamines, almost all of them. Not anti-nausea medications, anti-motion sickness medications, uh, topical ointments, medical lubes, waxes. It's I I told the nurse at the last doctor's office I was at. I'm like, yeah, ethylene chloride allergy, and she went, ooh, and I'm like, okay, so she knows, because that it entirely eliminates entire categories and classes of medications, which is a problem when those classes of medications are in the treatment options for what I believe is known as Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, which is a rare chronic cancer that affects 3 out of every million people, right? Okay, let me go back over to this so I can see this, because this is driving me nuts. All right, so I've already done episodes 1, 2, 3 rabbit hole research for this particular issue, where I've gone over everything from antihistamines. I'm listing everything. Like, I'm listing everything because, again, need to super proof it for the doctors, because I have absolutely, I mean, some things I'm umbrella topicing, like hair gel. I'm not listing every single brand. I'm not listing every single type of lotion or lotion brand, and I'm certainly not listing every single type of toothpaste, mouthwash, and or sunscreen, because nobody has that kind of time. But all of those things I'm allergic to because of either ethylene dichloride, coconut, or latex crosses. Usually it's the first two, but it's the ethylene dichloride that makes me allergic to latex. So it's used as a stabilizer, natural latex products. So, yeah. All right. So let's see. Last episode for Rabbit Hole Research, I looked over corticosteroids. I think I stopped on corticosteroids. I did not medicate at all yesterday because I'm out of my mast cell stabilizer, and I react to pretty much everything, including antihistamines, when I don't have that. So I can't breathe out of my nose. I'm pretty sure I can hear my voice stuck inside my ears. I probably have an ear infection. I don't even care right now. Let's see, corticosteroids. We ended on that. And I listed that corticosteroids for MCAS and macroglobulinemia treatments, automatically allergic due to ethylene dichloride, according to New Ford Medical System and dermnet.org. Because I try to set my sources. I'm a lifelong journalist, and that's just what I do. So, hey Jill, how are you? Hey Squirrel, how are you? All right, so I have to, let's see. So, I think we ended at like 850 something for allergens. Hey Auntie and Uncle, how are you? Um, young, your golf doctors, how are you? Okay. All right. So say hi if you are stopping by on YouTube. And please do me a favor and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate that, because um, I would like to be able to hopefully monetize the channel and take my upset. Let's just say I love research. I don't love research when it's gee, what cancer treatment am I not allergic to? You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing it with live, whether or not anybody shows up, because then it's there for later if somebody else wants to see it, needs to see it. You know what I mean? Because this is work. We need to know more than our doctors do half the time. But the problem is we also have to make sure that we don't show the doctors that we know more than they do about us, ourselves in particular, because that's when you get in trouble. You can be an informed patient when you're not chronically ill or have chronic pain, because then when you do, you're the problem and you're seeking or you're Decker chefing everybody else is just being a responsible patient. Because if you walk into the doctors because you think you have strep and they're like, so what brings you in today? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. And you just look at them blankly. They're going to look at you like, I need something to go on here, right? Yeah, and they don't like it when you get into specifics because you've got rare and chronic diseases and or chronic illnesses and situations, and you happen to know a lot because you're researching a lot, because it's not because you're trying to flex, it's because you're trying to stay alive. And I've got a really weird that little trifecta of allergens right there is like, if I'm not allergic to something because of one thing, I'm allergic because of another. Because if I'm right, I'm allergic to everything, including corticosteroids. So let's see. I looked up. So I'm listing like what I'm allergic to, why, and corticosteroids. I didn't look at ingredients because they're all automatically off or out because of the ethylenolamine dihydrochloride allergy. All corticosteroids are included under that. So no corticosteroids for Behçet's disease, no corticosteroids for chronic blood cancer treatment. So that's all out. That's number 846 for a mineral corticoid. Haha, mineral corticoid. There you go. Okay. Also glucocorticoids. Those are just out, right? I believe some can be compounded, but that also makes them extremely expensive. There are two medications that I should be on. One is the compounded version of Singular, because it's my leukotriene levels that are too high. That put me in the mast cell confirmed with labs camp, according to the doctors at Mayo Clinic. So it would make sense that taking all the mast cell stabilizers and antihistamines in the world are going to address the symptoms, but they're not going to keep the problem from happening again, because my leukotriene levels are still completely untouched by anything. So I need an anti-leukotriene. Guess what? That's Singular. Guess what? I can't take it because it's in the antihistamine piperazine. I think piperazine. I'm allergic to it. It's definitely an antihistamine, right? And it can be compounded, but it's like $350 a month. That's just one of them. No, we can't do that. Okay, so I opened up allergic to ethylenolamine. I did that one. Okay, so I'm allergic to everything from, again, allergens, antihistamines. I can take intramuscular diphenhydramine. Everything else, no. Every single one of them is going to contain ethylenolamine dichloride, coconut, and or derivatives, and or mast cell triggers. Like if it's gel cap, anything, I automatically just it's coming back out up and violently. Because my body just instantly rejects it. I can't take anything. I can't, if I have a cold or the flu, can't do any OTC cold or flu products, decongestants, cough suppressants, pain relievers, none of it. So let's see. I'm sharing on YouTube, chronically spicy. My nose is itchy. I'm getting a mast cell spot or something right there. So let's see. Can't do antibacterial creams, can't do eye drops, can't do nasal sprays, can't do inhalers. Ethylenolamine dichloride is in the propellant. So the few nights ago, I was like, I can't feel the air I'm breathing in right now. I know I'm breathing. I can feel it. I'm getting the air down my airway, but I couldn't feel it. And I'm like, I would totally be reaching for and my inhaler right now if I still have the prescription for it, because I stopped getting it filled because this. Yeah. So yeah, asthma, but allergic to inhalers, blood cancer, but allergic to chemo and most of the treatments that I've come across so far, which is absolutely insane. Um, so let's see. Eh, oh wow. Okay, I need to look that up. List of second generation under. No, no, that's okay. I already did that one. All right. So Uh, if you have mast cell activation syndrome, you're usually going to be looking. Yeah, you're going to be on H1 and H2 blockers, which are the two receptors that like have been identified that our mast cells release when they are. Sorry, I was painting. Um, when they are responding to the threat, the foreign entity that you're reacting to, the mosquito bite, the insect sting, the food allergy reaction, the I'm going to react to existing because mast cell activation syndrome, histamine thing, leftovers, fermented foods, dehydrated foods, um, all of that. Okay. Um, bone broth also and kombucha both like want me off this planet. Like so bad for a lot of people with MCAS because way high in histamines. And I was making and drinking that stuff like it was going out of style. And I couldn't figure out why I was just getting worse and just covered in full body welts and hives. And here I am, just like, I have no idea. I'm knocking back another like homemade bone broth in a mason jar. Finally figured out couldn't do that. All right, so I started researching last night. Okay. All right. I have an hour. 7:44, 6:44. Okay. I have an hour to give me time to get the dogs outside, and then I can. I have more than an hour, but I'm gonna try. I'm giving myself an hour. I'm gonna try and ADHD like time blind proof this because I am not. I am not good with time. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I'm just not, I'm like trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I acknowledge your existence. I appreciate you being here because you're actually helping me stay focused on continuing to come back and do this. Because I think it's highly important, even if you're dealing with a different issue, a different chronic illness, a different like WTF diagnosis that you weren't expecting, you got smacked over the head with out of left field. It's really important, I think, for those of us who have comorbid issues. Thank you for the likes. To ADHD Wonder Woman, you are getting a follow just because I like your name. Okay. All right. Because hi, ADHD. And Wonder Woman, my absolute hero growing up. I had the underoos. That's how many years old I am. Okay, antihistamines. Let's see. Going back down, look at my list. Okay, so I started my rabbit hole research looking up. I actually did this differently than I have been doing it the past few days, because I started doing this around 2 o'clock in the morning when I realized my laptop, my MacBook, had like zero battery. And so, hi throat. 1 minute. Lovely. Fiji. No, not sponsored. It's just all like one of the two waters I can drink. Okay. Um, so I started with chemotherapy, right? Options. And instead of like researching it live, I had to basically, open up tabs, copy paste. And I was doing this on a lot of this on my iPhone last night, or through the night, because I do not sleep the night before doctor's appointments. That is way, way too much. No, no, I can't. No, that would require a significant reduction in anxiety, and not expecting to be smacked with the gaslight, with the gaslighting, medical gaslighting bat when you walk in the door um, for a doctor's appointment. So, and that's where I'm at. So anyway, chemotherapy options. What I'm gonna do. 1 second. Blah. Breathe. ADHD people, I know y'all got me. Okay. So, okay. So instead of doing all of it live with the actual research, this time, again, I built the list throughout the night, and what I plan on doing is going through and turning a few of the bits that I've got here um, that were kind of like important on their own into individual videos for YouTube. So, chemotherapy. I got the information from American Cancer Society. Um, See, so I'm allergic to alkylating agents, all contain ethylenediamine dichloride. Yep, so that's out. Cyclophosphamide, also cytosan, contained allergens within include pre-gelatinized starch, MCAS trigger, potential latex allergy, fruit trigger, per allergy and asthma network, and sodium stearyl fumarate, coconut derived. That was number 886 for allergies. Gelatin, high histamine, and MCAS trigger cause projectile vomiting for capsule shells, gel caps, that kind of thing. Ethylenediamide dichloride is in all dyes, so like the blue liquid in the cough drop and the cough medication that I can't drink anyway or take anyway, purple mouthwash, that kind of thing, which I can't do anyway because they all contain glycerin and usually sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium lauryl sulfate. Coconut, yep. Sorry about that. I haven't had any of my mast cell stabilizers in like way too long, and I'm see this. I'm all kinds of like itchy and triggered. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm allergic to dyes. Black ink. So like even that can be an issue, right? That can be an issue too. Maggie Potsy. Sorry, Mega Potsy. How are you doing, Maggie? All right. So if you happen to suspect or have you been diagnosed with an allergy to ethylenediamine dichloride, you can check out the Contact Dermatitis University. Also information on dermnet.info, and there's a couple other ones when I find them. The sources that I usually I have bookmarked on my iPhone. I will do videos for that, shorts for those. Okay, black iron oxide is isopropyl alcohol coconut derived, butyl alcohol, propylene glycol, dehydrated alcohol, MCAS triggers, propylene glycol, coconut allergy trigger. I forgot to write that one down. When I walk in the door today, in a few hours with the allergist that I've never met before, he's going to love me or he's going to hate me. Okay, let's see. A strong ammonia solution, MCAS trigger, shellac, coconut, and ethylenediamine dichloride. That takes me up to 887 for bendamustine. Allergen triggers in ingredients include polyethylene glycol, coconut derived. That one, there are numbers. There are so many polyethylene glycols. Doesn't matter, and propylene glycols. But all those are all going to be coconut derived, and doesn't matter the number if it's coconut. So yeah, basically, I'm allergic to all of the options for chemo. which is insane. My mind, I'm like, really cool. Purine analogs are another option for the chronic blood cancer condition. Diagnosis, I don't even. I have not. I'm pretending it's somebody. I haven't processed this. I'm still doing this as if I'm just researching for an article because that's a lot to take in, right? All right, fludabarine, fludara allergens. Included are wheat, tapioca, latex resistant cross reactives. Mannitol is usually derived from mushrooms or pomegranate, which, if you look at latex allergy food syndrome UK, because and this goes for both sides of the pond, y'all. If you're in the UK, always make sure that when you're cross-referencing your latex food or latex fruit syndrome allergies or what may become an allergy for you, because we are not all allergic to the same thing. Turns out, for each of us, it could be we might never progress. A certain percentage do progress, and for those of us who do progress, it can be at different rates and different foods, and we might lose a few things, here and there. And there are things in the US, it's latex fruit syndrome, even though it includes foods that aren't fruit, which is why in the UK, I'm assuming it's just latex food syndrome. The lists are not going to be identical. So it's always good to make sure you check both. ADHD Wonder Woman, thank you for, I appreciate you so much. We are, we, just your name alone makes me want to figure out a way to collab, because I'm absolutely I'm like she's my dog. She's my friend. Okay. All right, so 888 for allergies, because I'm listing all the potential medications, because I have a doctors try to like shove antibiotics and other medications that I'm automatically allergic to because of ethylene hydrochloride. That's the thing with this allergy is like latex allergy is different. Yeah, we're all allergic to latex, but like where we are on the House of Veer scale is going to be different for everybody. And if we react to walking by a poinsettia plant or being in the same building as, I don't know, um, a ficus tree, that's not we're all, are you airborne or not, or is it just touch sensitive? It it's different for everybody. However, ethylene hydrochloride allergy, if you get the list you're allergic to all of these things because of that trigger, which has so many names, it's insane. Hello, Shannon, how are you? All right, so I'm also allergic to the entire class of corticosteroids. And one interesting one to note is colchicine, which is prescribed for a lot of people who have Behçet's disease. It's the one that the doctors at Mayo Clinic wanted me to go on, and they recommended that I, bring it up to my doctors, and I just nodded my head and smiled. Because guess what? Of course, I'm cross-referencing before I even get home, and I'm online and I'm looking, and colchicine is derived from the crocus flower, which is shares similar proteins with similarly shaped proteins with the natural herb tree, and it making it a latex allergy trigger. Latex is bad for me. I'm not effing around with that one. So no. Shannon, how are you? And Vicky, how are you? All right, so prednisone, all of the steroids out. Chemo drugs like vincristine contain ethylenediamine, and that one's derived from a flowering plant, a flowering family containing natural latex plants. Doxorubicin, that's derived from or contains PEG, aka polyethylene glycol, derived from coconut. That's 891 for allergies. So then I looked up, so we go up a little bit further. We're looking at macroglobin. I can't. This word I swear is designed to make anybody sound not sober. What's in your cup, ma'am? Plain water. because that's all I can drink because I'm allergic to carbonation. Ethylenediamide chloride. Again, it's why we can't have nice things. All right, so macroglobulinemia treatment options. Note this is a rare and chronic blood cancer that let's see, 4 out of every 100 out of every million are affected, and most people aren't diagnosed until like 65. So yeah, I showed up early to the party, I guess. I was diagnosed in August of 2024. Mayo Clinic didn't think I needed to know before I left the facility. So that's I found it last week. So this is all brand new in my ADHD brain, and I'm like, oh my god. So I have to talk to my doctor about it and figure out next steps because I can't even get my Behçet's treated because colchicine, right? And corticosteroids. All right, so I looked up treatment options, which include plasma exchange. Um, Plasma includes when it is not made by your body. It's bioidentical, but it's not made by your actual body, right? It's donors and not just pure plasma. It's not just what they get out. They have to recalibrate things and make it safe to you know put into someone else's body. So that includes adding a variety of things to the ingredient list for the albumin, which includes things like fatty acids, which is often code for coconut, as well as barbiturates and other unnamed pharmaceuticals. If I don't know, we can't do that. That is not a party. No, I just no. I looked up immunotherapy, and that would be things like Imbruvica or Ilbrutinib. Allergens for that include magnesium stearate, sodium lauryl sulfate, both coconut derivatives, and gelatin and cast sugar. I can do a magnesium stearate if it's like the one like single or one of two coconut derivatives, and it's like at the end of the list. But Patreon, thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. Just how are you? Um, okay, so I'm live streaming on YouTube if you want to do screen share and see what I'm sharing instead of just, it makes it a little more interesting, I think. Please make sure you like the video and the live stream or the video if you watch it on rewatch. And please do me the favor of making sure to subscribe if you haven't already because I have no friends. I mean, I do. I've got like a few really close friends, but I don't get to see them very often. So most of the time, it's just me inside my head and the friends inside of my phone. And if you have ADHD or are autistic, chronic illness, issues like combine all of that, and you don't get out very often, so building community is huge online, so you have some connection somewhere. All right, so let's see. Other uh, allergens for medications for macroglobulinemia treatments include Brukinsa, because that includes magnesium stearate, sodium lauryl sulfate, and gelatin. Stem cell transplant, which is the least often used treatment option for macroglobulinemia, probably because it's the most intrusive and I'm gonna guess expensive as hell treatment option, which would entirely depend on what your insurance company is going to be like. Yeah, sure, we'll cover that. Mhm. Um, that's where providers replace bone marrow affected by abnormal cells with healthy bone marrow. It's uncommon and only used in select people. I don't know if I'm select people. I hope. I mean, maybe. So let's see. Now we only have to look up two more. Let's look up mast cell stabilizers. And we're going to share this instead so you can see this. All right, what is it? Here, go. Mast cell stabilizer. I can't spell anything. 1 minute. MCAS stabilizer list. All right. Now, mast cell stabilizers, in short, are going to be a combination of medications and or OTC medications or supplements. Make sure you talk to your doctor if you're looking at an OTC or a natural supplement like DAO or other vitamin C, etc., because we all have different levels of. It's going to be what your body can tolerate. That's what it's going to boil down to, and what works for you. Because what is life changing for somebody else could be absolutely not make a difference for your MCAS, or like trigger a severe reaction. All right, mast cell stabilizers. Mast cells are involved in allergic rhinitis, allergic conjunctivitis, anaphylaxis, asthma, autoimmune diseases, eczema, itch, and reproductive disorders. Mast cell stabilizers, cromolyn and netocromil, work by blocking a calcium channel that is essential for mast cell degranulation, the release of the chemical mediators containing secretory granules which occur after exposure to a specific antigen. In short, if you've ever had a mosquito bite, you've had a mast cell activation reaction. You don't have mast cell MCAS specifically, most likely, because everybody reacts to mosquito bites. It's just that the same mechanism that triggers the mosquito bite to get raised, red, bumpy, itchy, painful, swollen, depending on how much you react to it and how sensitive you are to histamine levels that are and the receptors that are released with the reaction for you. It's just right. It's a mosquito bite, but that happens to everybody. Imagine having 1,000 mosquito bites, brand new, every single day, and most of the time you're doing the like instinctive scratching or like trying to figure out why you're suddenly like very aware of like one specific part of your farm or whatever because things feel weird, and then you realize and the part that you've been focused on is now, oh, mosquito bite, okay, yeah, like so anyway, bottom line is every one of us has chemical mediator release of mast cell degranulation, or I just say my mast cells are mad because that's what they don't feel happy. All right, mast cell stabilizers may be used to prevent asthma and symptoms for seasonal chronic allergic rhinitis. Okay, list of mast cell stabilizers. 1 minute, where is that? So cromolyn, sodium, gastrocom. There are different versions of that. There are the vials, clear liquid that you put in your water. It kind of takes your water, tastes like water, bottled water that's been in a hot car all day. But it can be life changing for a lot of people, and that's going to be super amazing for the people who it works for. That is, oops, sorry. That is, I am just trying to do this. That's going to be the kind that works mostly in our digestive tract. Christina, how are you? There's also going to be the kind you can nebulize. That's the kind I have. You have to do it 4 times a day. Not necessarily convenient, but it seems to be the most effective for me. Although all it really, I mean, all it does is make it so I can breathe out of my nose. That's better than nothing, right? You have an appointment for a partially torn ligament in a few minutes. Oh man, hugs, big hugs, and thanks for the gift. I appreciate it. I have a new allergist appointment in 2 hours ish. New allergist. Let's just say I will not have my main mast cell stabilizer if this doctor is not MCAS aware when it comes to the not necessarily beaten path for common, or as common as they. I don't fit the mast cell like easy group, right? So yeah, things are going to be um, things are all. I don't even want to think about. I can't breathe out of my nose at all. I'm sorry if I sound all stuffy. I'm a mess. Okay. Bottom line is, yeah, can't do that. No, this page was not helpful. You don't have anything here. Uh, Literally, it says, list of mast cell stabilizers, and it's got one listed. And then it says that if you want to see also, and I'm like, eh. Oh, here we go. Yeah, see this right here for you're watching on YouTube, mast cell stabilizers. It just has gastricom or chromosomal sodium listed. Just so you can get that in the liquid that you put in your water. You can get that as a nasal spray. Um, it it's available on Amazon. Uh, from by a company called HealthGuard. Not telling you to get it, not giving medical advice, just telling you it exists and you can check it out. And talk to your doctor, make sure that they're good with it. And then there's a nebulizing solution. That one's also the kind that is going to be prescribed. Yes, the nasal spray is the only reason that I'm able to breathe out, that I was able to actually, that I actually realized I that's why I could start breathing out of my nose. I think I did the first time I did it was like actually live, or doing an actual video, and it was like within 5 minutes I could actually breathe out of my nose, and it was the first time that I could do that, because before I was what Stranger Things kids crew cast and crew were you referring to. I was a mouth breather before then, because this and yeah, the nasal crom stuff, amazing, absolutely amazing. It's the only nasal spray I'm not allergic to. All right, so that was like a really bad source. um yeah, awesome. So let's look at a different one, because that was bad. um Mast cell. I'm only if honestly, if I don't get all of them done right now, I don't care. I will have to hey Alawi, I will have to tell the doctor, because they're not going to want to input 900 allergies on their own, with they're going to have someone in the records department do it. And I'm just trying to just get the list as much as I can done. So let's see. Here we go. From tmsforcure.com. The Mast Cell Society, the Mast Cell Disease Society, medications to treat mast cell diseases, which include self-injectable epinephrine, 2 doses like EpiPen, um, should be carried by all patients with a mast cell disorder at all times, even if previous anaphylaxis has not occurred, because you don't know what you're going to react to next, or how you're going to react to it, how serious it's going to be. Yesterday or last week or last month, if you only reacted during your cycle, it might have been a rash and some swelling. Maybe you realized your socks, which usually don't like leave indents, but only during that time of the month. That kind of thing, like weird, but not like life threatening. Next month you might realize, oh, I can't wear anything that's got elastic or spandex in it during while my body is reacting to hormones, because those are mast cell triggers. Because everything's a mast cell trigger. And yeah, you can go into anaphylaxis or anaphylactic shock like that. FYI, anaphylaxis, 2 or more body systems affected at once. It can literally. Right now, I'm technically in low-level anaphylaxis. I can't breathe out of my nose, so my nasal passages. And I have swelling on my right behind my knee, on the lower upper part of my leg, and I've got some swelling, a little bit of like some bumpy spots. So I've got dermatological. I've got 2 or 3 body systems happening at once. I almost always do. So, and I'm not supposed to go to the hospital unless my second EpiPen doesn't work, or third, right? Second or third. I'm not. MCAS patients in the hospital. You don't go all the time. That's usually what our doctors tell us. Not. I'm not telling you not to go. Go if you think you need to go. Definitely. And make sure you talk to your doctor about a rescue plan. Okay. That's going to be different for all of us, usually. But again, if you don't have EpiPens prescribed, talk to your doctor about it. And let me share this page here, sharing it on YouTube. This is the Mast Cell Disease Society for a Cure. And this is the part that I was just reading, where it talks about epi or epinephrine auto-injectors that need to be carried by all mast cell patients, even if previous anaphylaxis has not occurred. Both patient and family members, caregivers should be trained with administering epinephrine. They cite the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, the AAAAI website for more information on anaphylaxis. You can also check out Allergy and Asthma Network. I use them as a reference all the time. Hello, ADHD Wonder Woman. How are you? Basic medications for symptomatic patients with mast cell diseases, okay, which include everything from mast cell activation syndrome to mastocytosis, various kinds of mastocytosis. Yeah, mastocytosis. All right. H1 antihistamines help with itching, abdominal pain, flushing, headaches, brain fog. I only have the only medication I can take that falls in the H1 category. That would be like your antihistamines. A lot of people can do like say 2 Allegra a day or like 2 Claritin a day. And if it's just a really bad day and you're overreactive, or you went out to dinner and didn't realize that something you ordered was cooked in a way that made it higher histamine, whatever, you reacted to something you weren't expecting. Yeah, you can. I was told that I could take an extra dose of that up to 3 a day for the H1 blocker, but I don't have an H1 blocker that I can take anymore, except for diphenhydramine intramuscular. So I try to save that for rescue only. Try to save that for rescue only because I don't have anything else to block the H1s. I don't have, like, literally there is 0 other options. H2 antihistamines help with gastrointestinal symptoms and overall mast cell stability, all mast cell activation symptoms. And that is something as simple as Pepcid slash famotidine. You can get it over the counter if the ingredients are okay for you and you can handle them fine. Just know that I'm prescribed, and I'm not telling, this is why I'm giving personal experience examples, and I'm not giving medical advice, but I'm sharing my personal experience in that a singular Pepcid tab is 10 milligrams of medication. I am prescribed 40 milligrams twice a day of famotidine. So if I'm doing taking Pepcid, because I'm out, can't find my bottle because ADHD, I don't know where I put it last week because I'm an idiot, or whatever, went on vacation, forgot to grab it, that kind of thing. If I'm doing the OTC kind, which is one of the few things that can handle OTC, I have to take 4 at a time, not 1, because they're 10 milligrams each. So make sure if you are on famotidine or prescribed an H2 blocker by your mast cell doctors, that you confirm with them what is the safest option for you. You can get these medications compounded. Many of us need them compounded. It just depends on what we can afford to have compounded. So that's going to be a huge factor. I'm supposed to be on compounded Claritin. It's $350 a month. I can't do that. So it's just no, not doing that. All right, mast cell stabilizers help with stomach and intestinal symptoms and brain fog. Leukotriene inhibitors. That's what is wrong with me. That is why I have mast cell activation syndrome. My leukotriene levels are insanely high, and that is because my tryptase levels totally normal. I never. Every doctor was like, "Stop bothering us. You don't have MCAS," and I'm like, "Huh, all right, fine. I would really like to do a victory tour and show up at all the previous doctors' offices with this list, and be like, "Wow, remember that time?" And then be like, "Yeah, it wasn't the tryptase. It wasn't the tryptase because only 30% of patients with mast cell activation syndrome actually show elevated tryptase even during a flare. That means you can literally drink a coffee, knock back a beer, and fermented, all the good stuff, high in histamine AF, and then have a couple of leftover slices of pizza from yesterday's dinner, where you can have fresh pizza, but leftovers might usually be something you avoid because no. And then for good measure, bone broth, homemade even. Um, but extra stupid high in histamine because slow cooked. You could do all of that in a parking lot in an emergency room. Not saying that I ever have done that or been told to do that by doctors who were like, well, we can only, your tryptase levels aren't going to actually show accurately unless it's been, unless they're like, the blood is drawn like within a certain amount of time after a reaction. Not that I'm actually recommending you do anything like that, they say. But I mean, if you, that would be one way, saying it without saying it kind of thing. You could do all those things, have like a major anaphylactic reaction, possibly anaphylactic shock, and your tryptase levels haven't budged at all. Gets because again, 70% of MCAS patients don't have elevated tryptase during even a flare. And I've been told that 18% of masto patients do not have elevated tryptase even during a flare, which is insane. Because somehow out of that really tiny population of like the general population at hand, two people with mastocytosis ended up in my comment section and we're both like, yeah, my tryptase is normal, but I have mastocytosis. And I'm like, damn, okay. So leukotriene inhibitors, that's one that I need, $350 a month. And that's I'm like, we gotta buy eggs, man. So that would be things like helps with respiratory symptoms and overall mast cell stability, for all mast cell activation syndromes, from digestive to sinus to brain fog to like cognitive, just like clarity, to dermatological, rashes, welts, hives, all that stuff. Flushing, um, allergic shiners, all of those. Okay. Um, Singular, my daughter's been on since she was 2. She doesn't have all the allergies that I do. Um, Looking back though, I'm where she was at her age, which is one of the reasons that I'm still trying to fight like hell to get doctors to listen to me, because if she progresses like I did, I'd like her to not have to fight, to not be afraid to go to doctors' offices for appointments when they're necessary and needed for preventative and maintenance and emergency care, etc. Especially when you have multiple chronic illnesses and chronic and diseases, autoimmune diseases, etc. Right? So that's where you need to make sure that you remember this isn't just about us, it's about everybody, it's about everybody else too. Not trying to pressure on you, just when you think it's hard and you want to stop, know that somebody else is looking at what you're doing, and um, they might not be somebody who comments, um, but there's somebody who watches everything you say, and because they have found some kind of inspiration in what you're sharing, and that is enough to keep them going, and that's enough to keep you going, because it's reciprocal, right? um because you're like, oh, okay, there's a purpose for why I'm experiencing this, because I'm sharing this, and it doesn't make it better, it just makes it make sense somehow. Does that make sense? Moving on. So yeah, if I can get I'm trying to actually get my Patreon, build my Patreon community of supporters, because my first goal literally is to be able to cover my compounded diphenhydramine. No, sorry, compounded singular. That's $350 a month. Okay, that's why I'm not taking it yet, because the only kind I can do is literally my compounding pharmacist, it would literally make it a liquid for me, and it would be mixed with olive oil, and I was told it would taste utterly disgusting, but it's the only safe way they can do it for me. And yeah, but $350 a month, that's a lot of eggs. This was so swollen last night. This is not a pimple, this is a welt, mast cell. All right, aspirin therapy under the direct supervision of a physician, if tolerated and if prostaglandins are elevated, it helps with flushing, brain fog, and bone pain. Okay, so also all these, you've got EDS, you've got POTS, you've got multiple comorbidities that are common with mast cell. So that's something to keep in mind, because you need to pay attention to that, because some doctors are like, well, you have this, you obviously don't have that. It's like, no, I have this and I have that, comorbid, not, -2 plus +2 equals 0. It's 2 plus 2 equals 4. So according to TMS Society for a Cure, H1 and H2 antihistamines are necessary to stabilize receptors on the mast cell. Therefore, if additional medication is required for control of gastroesophageal reflux or GERD, a proton pump inhibitor may be added to this protocol, but it cannot replace the H2 antihistamine. So again, if you are on thank you for the likes, Christina, I appreciate it. So if you are, you know, proton pump inhibitor, cool, we're adding this, but we're going to drop your H2. Talk to your doctor, print out or give them the URL for the Mast Cell Disease Society for a Cure. Have them look at the page specific for mast cell stabilizers, because this is where it can help with you knowing what you can do. All right, some first generation H1 antihistamines. I'm allergic to almost all of them but one. Atarax, hydroxyzine hydrochloride. I'm very allergic to that. Chlorothiamine, doxepin or Cinequan, and Tavist. Those are all I'm allergic to. All of those. Benadryl, I am allergic to. Hey, spoonful of. I'm not allergic to spoonful of Sarah. I'm not. I'm saying hi to spoonful of Sarah. Okay. I can take intramuscular diphenhydramine. Capsules and tablets contain methylamine hydrochloride. Even if they didn't, the inside of the gel cap, the liquid, there's a carrier for the Benadryl, the diphenhydramine, and that's going to usually contain glycerin and other potential coconut allergens. H2s, or no, here's some more second generation H1s. Okay, these are they tend to cause less drowsiness, and of course, there's all the awareness on like long-term effects of Benadryl diphenhydramine usage. I don't have a choice because it's the only thing I can take. But if you can take something else, you take something else, right? So we've got Allegra, Claritin, Clarinex, Zyzel, Zyrtec, and then you've got things like Xolair, immunologic, right? Immuno, IVIG. I'm still learning some of the different terms, even though I've been researching this like crazy. Um, but Xolair, which is for people with mast cell activation syndrome, and now also for people with food allergies to help reduce surprise or accidental reactions from accidental surprise ingestion, right? Which is usually is anyway for people. Think about it, right? So the anyway H2s, all of those, H1's second generation, not going to be as hard on the body usually as H3 first generation. But are you allergic to it? Can you handle it? That's what matters. Some H2 antihistamines. We have Axid, Pepsid, Tagamet, Zantac. So nizatidine, famotidine, cimetidine, and ranitidine. Leukotriene inhibitors, Singulair, Aqualate, Zyflo, Monteclast, Zaferculast, and Xyludon. We'll be looking all of that up. And this is where I will be probably coming back. I was so focused on trying to get the cancer medication options taken care of that I wasn't sure uh, what my options were going to be. That it didn't even occur to me to look up mast cell stabilizing medications because obvious is the part that we miss most of the time, I think. Anyway, mast cell stabilizers include Gastrocom, Zatidin, Ketotifen. Ketotifen. I can't do that in the U.S. I think it's only available for as eye drops. I'm allergic to eye drops. Again, ethylene hydrochloride. Alginat, Neuroprotect, it's a food supplement containing bioflavonoids such as quercetin and luteolin. I would have to look at every ingredient on that before I would be cleared for it. Bayer, aspirin, ASA, aspirin, acetylsalicylic acid. For those with high prostaglandin levels, aspirin therapy must be initiated under the direct supervision of your physician. Okay. And yeah. All right. Proton pump inhibitors help with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux. We have for brand names Asifex. Okay. Dexilin, Nexium, Prevacid, Prilosec, Protonix. Yeah. So there's that. Table 7, brand names. These are targeted therapies, small molecule inhibitors, may be prescribed for select patients with smoldering and advanced variants of systemic mastocytosis. I've actually had a doctor since I've been back here in Minnesota, Wisconsin area, without me even realizing until after like months after the appointment, he listed me as having mastocytosis. I mean, I've got the macroglobulinemia blood cancer thing, so I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'll be asking the allergist what he thinks about that. Because I gotta tell him this. I have to. The list is going to top one. We're going to be at over 1,000 when we're done. We just will. Because I have to list all of these things. Because if I end up in an emergency room, and I can't speak for myself, everything needs to be charted, right? Um, yeah, I already know I can't do a manatib, and I already know I can't do. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do any of these. Um, so let's check. These medications are designed to inhibit the specific protein that controls mast cell growing and dividing. This differs from conventional classical chemotherapy that works by destroying rapidly growing and dividing cells. Okay, so that might not be the way to go for me in this case because mm, uh, going directly for the cells might be the way to go. I don't know. We'll have to see what the doctors say. I don't even know what doctor I'm going to be seeing for this yet. Okay, conventional chemotherapy that may be prescribed for selected patients with smoldering and advanced variants of systemic mastocytosis include hydria and lustatin, cladribine, and hydroxyurea. Yeah, my throat's doing stupid things. I'm gonna other bags all right now. All right. So immunotherapy that we prescribe for selected patients with smoldering and advanced variants of systemic mastocytosis includes Intron. There are several more therapies in the pipeline, including additional uh, tyrosine kinase inhibitors and other targeted therapies. Sometimes symptoms change and it becomes necessary to increase or decrease classes of medications or to add additional medications to a patient's prescribed protocol. Also know, this is all that was from Mast Cell Disease Society for a Cure. Also know that there are other medications that aren't listed as traditional mast cell stabilizers that have off-label known by mast cell doctors ability to stabilize uh, every mast cell, like all mast cells in the body, not just one specific organ system. So that's a big deal. Let's see. So yeah, that's all of those, and that was the last one, and that's gonna be the actual ironic part where I'm be like, yeah, I didn't have time to finish this one for the appointment, so give me a few days and I'll get it into the system. I know you're not gonna want this. You're not going to be entering all of this anyway, and that's a lot of paper and ink to waste at home. So just give me the name or the email for the records department, and I'll email this, directly over to them after I had mast cell stabilizers. But I wanted to make sure that I had um, the medications that I know I can take. Um, how do I phrase this? I'm down to certain medications, some conventional, some not, because of my body can tolerate. And so that meant that I needed to list everything else individually on why I am allergic to it or can't take it or it triggers histamine responses. And that's a problem like for a lot of us. I had some like I used to think that I was allergic. I was just allergic to medications. Not necessarily. No, no, I'm not. Wasn't. It was more. Yeah, you're not allergic to it, but your body thinks it is or really really wants to be. So you're gonna have crazy reactions that you can't explain to your doctor. And good luck trying to not feel crazy because they're gonna call you crazy. And but they're gonna also wonder why you're having reactions to things that you're not testing as allergic for. It's a total mental mind. It's a mind f. Um, when it comes to feeling sane amidst all the insanity that comes with that. Teresa's favorites. Hello, I haven't caught you in a long time. How have you been feeling? Anything working? Hi, Teresa. A little updates. Mayo Clinic, 2024, diagnosed EDS, fibro, Behçet's disease, autoimmune condition that causes my body to attack its own blood vessels. Can't take anything for it because it's corticosteroids. and I'm allergic to all corticosteroids. So looking for alternatives. Um, and just found, still looking for a mast health specialist or allergist in Wisconsin or Minnesota, because apparently they don't like treating that at any of the offices here in the state, or like, Minnesota either, because, sorry, charging phone, because the doctors like, yeah, sorry, we don't do mast cell, because just not enough is known about it. And then I just got diagnosed with a rare and chronic blood cancer that affects 3 out of a million people. Because it was diagnosed while I was at Mayo. It's in my records. I was diagnosed in August of 2024. They didn't tell me, because the resident who was working with me apparently didn't think it was important enough to like let a patient know, hey, by the way, you might want to. Nope. Didn't say a damn thing about that one. Confirmed, called to let me know that the Behçet's disease diagnosis was confirmed. Didn't mention anything else, so I found it in my records last week while I was working on this list. It's usually not diagnosed for patients until they're around 65, and the 10-year survival rate was pretty high. Because it's a chronic slow progression condition, and there are options. It's treatable, it's not curable, kind of like MCAS, right? I don't know if this is high you have. This is just okay, yeah. So that's my brain. That's my brain. That's what's going on. Okay. So we've got mast cell stabilizers, right? That's the update. How are you doing? If anybody else asks me how I'm doing, you know what I tell them? Like you're supposed to say fine, right? In American society, the expected answer is fine. Whether you're walking past a stranger on the street and you're just, polite conversation, filling the space. How are you? Fine is what you're supposed to say. Nobody wants to hear that your cat just got run over, and you're about to get kicked out of your apartment because you're 2 months late on rent and you can't afford eggs, and that you broke the ankle strap on your favorite pair of Crocs and they don't make it anymore. So of course you're just all kinds of upset. Nobody cares. Nobody. If they don't have time to care, they were only asking to be polite because they weren't expecting you to answer the question, right? So that invisible diagnosis, how are you? So like I know that if somebody in the chronic illness community is like, hey, how are you doing? They actually are asking the question, expecting an actual answer. And sometimes if I'm on, doing a video or a live, I know that I know when people are asking me here online that it's a legit question, and that's why I can, share the answer without worrying about like having you walk off like or look at me like, did they think I actually gave a damn? Because I don't have time to. I've got too many. I don't have enough dams for myself, right? So my short answers for just everybody in general: surviving. How you doing today? Surviving. And people can take it how they want. They can think I'm being sassy. They can think I'm being a smart ass. They can think I'm, being dry humored and ironic. I'm all of these things. Oh, son of a bitch. 1 minute. Hi. Hi. My arm just knocked the fuck out of my phone. All right. Yeah. So anyway, I say surviving, but you asked how I was doing, so and I knew you meant it, so that's why I answered the question with, yeah, by the way, it's a dumpster fire and a shit show all wrapped in one. And my main, the main takeaway is I'm pissed at the Mayo Clinic right now and trying to figure out exactly you know, how do you let a patient walk out with a laundry list worth of diagnostics, mast cell, the fibro, et cetera, and not think that maybe they might want to know that they've got a rare and chronic form of fucking blood cancer? Happy morning to you. It's all right. I'm not monetized on YouTube anyway, so I'm not gonna lose anything for dropping an F bomb. Um, uh, Teresa's favorite says so true. Nobody knows what to say when they tell you the truth. I don't know why that is. It's like don't ask. Like unless I try to treat every interaction with strangers in polite company or polite public exchanges, um, like I was still waitressing. That's how I learned how to read people, and make eye contact when necessary, and just enough without over. Because I didn't know that I was autistic at the time either. I didn't even know I had ADHD at the time, right? Um, but yeah, I if I look at everything through the waitress lens, it's easier. But if I'm just like trying to be a person in public, I'm like and act like every blend, mask, whatever, my brain gets overloaded. So that's why I just tend to go the just surviving route when I'm asked about hey when somebody says how you doing. The anti chick, how are you? Thank you for liking the live. By the way, I have Behçet's disease and macroglobulinemia. I figured you'd want to know that. Get cut straight to the chase with you because I've known you for a while. Um, Diagnosed August 2024, Mayo Clinic. They did not tell me before I left the facility and stopped being like a direct patient there. I found it in my records by myself last week. Yeah. I believe it's the Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia, but I'm also allergic to if ethylene, dichloride, and coconut. So I'm allergic to pretty much most. If I'm allergic to basically almost all of the treatment options for that condition. I hope all is well for you. Haven't seen you in a while, and I loved your stuff. So we'll have to connect soon. All right, so let's see. Let's go through. Let's see. It is 7:45 a.m. My appointment. I'm only awake because I haven't gone to sleep. Hi to people on YouTube. How are you? If you are commenting, is this the chat? There we go. Okay. Now I finally figured out how to actually see chat comments so I can comment on YouTube or reply on YouTube to chats. Because I'm not a live streamer because I'm good at it. I'm a live streamer because I'm not good at videos, like properly edited videos, because that takes too much. I'm not medicated for my ADHD. Okay, let's just done. Um, Pearl, by the way, I love your name. Um, Ow, why is that so freaking sore right now? Okay, so see that, and then I got another little one right there. Those spots, those were actually my arm was swollen so much a few weeks ago, and for a little while actually, that those were actually like beneath the skin, and I could feel the bumps, but like I did, they were too. My arm was too swollen for them to. The swelling's gone down, right? And now I just have the spots. I'm like, oh, those are the areas that were driving me crazy recently. Um, and I feel a few more spots, bumps under the skin that are I'm just aware of. They're not itchy, they're not painful, they're just there. Um, I'm waiting. I'm wondering if the inflammation continues to go down, if it's just getting another like layer of the onion removed. I don't know. It's really weird. Like I'm aware of the spots when I move my arm, but it's super strange. Invisible diagnosis. I hope you're doing well. People hanging out in chat. Thank you for watching on YouTube and helping with support with my watch hours and everything. I sincerely appreciate it. All right, so I looked up every. Let's see. I'm closing Windows on my MacBook because my MacBook is about to go on strike. Um, these are the ones that I don't need open. I've got way too many there. Hakeem, how are you? Let's see. That's a lot of medication. Okay. I wonder if Lustatin is called that because it has some it helps is the leukotriene inhibitor too, because the LEU at the beginning could indicate that there is a connection. I'll have to look into that. Get rid of that. I'm closing all the tabs, people, all the extras. Let's see, plasma exchange. See, this is me looking up. I have an embarrassing amount of tabs open. And yeah, 1 second. I was doing just fine, and then everything. See that that happened literally just now. There we go. Ow. Like instant calloused skin, and it doesn't itch. It doesn't necessarily. It doesn't burn, but I always have like a bump underneath, a spot, if you will, that is that I know is gonna hurt, and it's gonna heal later, and my skin's gonna give me different colors, possibly 3 different colors. It's my fingertips are always the first thing to be affected, and when it starts, when this starts, if I treat my MCAS at this stage, at this point, with my rescue meds, I can prevent most times the I can actually prevent things from getting to the point where any thought of even entertaining calling for an ambulance like isn't going to be necessary, because that's the goal for. Oh, you're not even plugged in. Because that's the goal for MCAS. I was told by one of my previous physicians, which was you can't stop it from happening. You can't reverse it from happening. Your goal is just to control the allergy reaction progression. And once you feel it, basically, don't add gas to the fire, but you're not putting the fire out. You need the fire, right? So yeah, just don't do stupid shit that you react to. And take the medications you need to take and the supplements you need to take, and also pay attention to what foods you can handle when it comes to you know, histamines and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to cut this one here. I do have to make sure that I come back and I individually add the mast cell stabilizers from the Mast Cell Disease Society for a Cure.org list here. And I know I need to do that like ASAP within the next 24 to 48 for the doctor, because that one's kind of one I probably should have done to begin with. I should have started with that one, but I didn't realize there were that many because everyone's always talking about the H1, the H2, the chromium, and sodium, the ketotifen and Xolair are the ones that I see every. I had limited, and this was lazy journalism on my part, or I got lazy. But I had limited the list of MCAS stabilization meds to those, and my phone is still not charging. What the hell? 1 second. There we go. Thank God. 18%. Hello. Sorry. Anyway, I think I'm gonna cut it here because I know if I get into looking at all of the allergens or the entire list of individualized mast cell stabilizing medications on the TMS for cure.org, it's gonna be longer than an hour. 7, 8. 1 minute here. I'm trying to math in my head. 1 minute. My appointment's not till 9:45, and I have like a 40-minute drive during rush hour. So, I've got about 30 minutes before I gotta get going. So we're gonna cut it here because I need to walk the dogs and I need to change leggings and grab socks because Wisconsin and it's still cold enough, right, for that, because that's what happens here. I will come back later and do a wrap up on this part and do the final allergen count reveal, I suppose. So stay safe, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye. All right, YouTube, I'm out. Thanks for hanging out. And if you see this in the future YouTube, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe if you find anything value in the video and you know somebody who might need to see it, who's going through something similar. Please feel free to share it with them because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because even if nobody sees it now, if one person ever sees it that needs to know that they aren't alone, that's exactly why I'm here. Because I know what that feels like, and it's not a good feeling. So stay safe, be safe, and thanks for your support and hanging out. Have a good one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.